everybody, and welcome back to Real Wasted. I'm Pat.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Sean.
And we are in video number 2 of our Guilty Pleasures month. And it's Jackie's choice. And I'm just going to let you explain it from here.
I picked Beautician and the Beast.
Please, don't judge me by this.
I love this movie growing up. I think it's a fun movie, and I think it still holds up now.
I always wanted to do that.
The only thing that's going to hold up tonight will be Pat holding me as I dangle by the end of a noose.
We had to sit through Boat Trip.
I think that Pat's going to be very happy he sat through Boat Trip.
Why don't you explain the rules for us?
Sure. Alright, so, for the first drinking game, Frantastic. Anytime Fran Drescher does something Fran Drescher.
Ooh.
This movie was definitely a vehicle for her, so anytime the casting choice was obvious, take a drink.
Well, how many times do you find a sodomized goat in Hollywood, really?
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Number 2, Shaken Not Stirred. Timothy Dalton plays a very strict father in this movie. So
Wait. James Bond Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, that one.
Just the fact that he's in this makes it a little better.
Okay.
Okay, so for Timothy Dalton,
He plays a very strict father, and anytime Fran Drescher's character does something that kind of shakes up the order of things and pisses him off, take a drink.
Make him be quiet.
Number 3, the kids aren't alright. Anytime that there is an issue with one of the children, whether it's their relationship with their father, them getting into trouble, Fran Drescher trying to make things better but actually making them worse, take a drink.
Fran Drescher is teaching these kids.
Yes. The premise is that Fran Drescher goes to homeschool these kids.
She brings in a lot of crazy ideas. The father disapproves of them at first, but then grows to love it and love her as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is The King and I! You're making us watch Fran Drescher in The King and I!
You know what? Talk to the hand.
Alright, we're gonna get through the drinking game so you two can start drinking and mellow out.
Way ahead of you.
Number 4, lipstick. She's a beautician, so anytime that she uses a beauty remedy or teaches the kids a lesson that has to do with cosmetology, take a drink. And number 5, my country Timothy. Not only is Timothy Dalton a very strict father in this film, he is a feared president. Really, he's a dictator. So anytime his staff or the country is afraid of him, take a drink.
Do I not intimidate you at all?
Does he have any, crazy abuses of power?
You'll find out. He's got a sweet mustache, though.
We're moving up the ladder here.
Alright, you know what? Timothy Dalton, I think, is gonna save this movie for us.
I hope so.
Alright, so everybody grab your drinks. As usual, feel free to play along with us at home, but for the love of God, be safe. Cheers! Do I need to be the first person to say out loud that I hate Fran Drescher and anything she's in is tarnished because she's in it?
That is the shrill shriek of death. I believe that at the moment you die, that's the last thing that you hear.
The motorboat that carries you across the river Styx.
I heard.
Her voice triggers something in my mind that just spills out hatred, death, destruction.
Yes, who could get a word in edgewise?
I don't think this is just like a 90s movie that could only have been made and appreciated in the 90s. I think it's a movie that could only really be made and appreciated for her.
It's a Frandemic.
This movie came out in 1997. At that point in time, she was big on television, and these were the types of movies that were being made, and I would agree with you. There's really nobody that could play this part quite as well as Fran Drescher. Let's clarify, that's not a compliment.
I would argue
just
that
the
literally anybody with an X chromosome could have played this part the same as Fran Drescher.
I'm not even gonna make the argument that this is like a hilarious movie. You know, I wasn't sitting here in stitches over it, but any other actress that was big at the time, I think it would have fallen flat. You know, because of her persona, I think that makes it what it is. Think about who else was big then. 1997, so you had Titanic. Was Kate Winslet gonna do this?
No, because she was an actress. For those of us a little rusty on the story, it's the goddamn King and I.
It's The King and I and Beauty and the Beast, which is the same story.
You think The King and I and Beauty and the Beast is the same story?
As far as having to win over this hardened, spoiled brat, prince, king, president,
getting to know him, so to speak. Getting to know all about him.
Fran Drescher plays a beautician.
Mm-hmm.
She's teaching night school. She's not happy with her job, her life, and there's a fire. So the headline in the paper reads that this heroic teacher saved a bunch of animals from this horrible fire. The president is looking for someone to tutor his children. So he sends one of his guys out to go track down this heroic teacher. Little did they know that she's not actually certified.
I thought you taught science.
Teach it. I didn't even pass it.
So they bring her over to the country, and she kind of charms her way into the kids' lives, into the staff's lives, and then eventually to the president's life. That's why I like this movie, because it's got a heart. I'm not a huge Fran Drescher fan. I'm not sitting here going like, oh my god, this was the be-all, end-all. She was perfect. And I think it was a perfect casting choice because the movie was a vehicle for her. But I'm not saying this was like the best performance that anybody's ever given. I just like the movie. I think it's a funny movie. I think it's an endearing movie. The formula is there. I will give it that. But there is a little bit more of a subplot with what's going on with this country and what's going on with the kids. It's not just they meet, their relationship gets foiled, they get back together.
Forget even watching the movie. You could have seen the movie poster and you knew how the movie was going to end.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
But that's not really the movie's fault so much as it is that it's just been so overdone.
Oh, yeah.
You knew what it was going to be when you heard who was in it. It could have been worse. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Overall, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, in that it didn't present anything new. It was all about Fran. All the jokes were about, hey, look at how funny Fran Drescher is. But if you don't find Fran Drescher funny, you will hate this.
Yeah, it's control top pantyhose. Holds you in like a stuffed sausage.
I actually did laugh in this movie. There were a couple of lines that I did think
Oh
were
yeah,
really funny.
there were a few lines that were genuinely okay.
And I'll tell you something, there was, for at least the first half of the movie, I was convinced Timothy Dalton had never even seen the script. They didn't tell him what the plot was. They didn't tell him who was in the movie. They just put him in a room with Fran Drescher and he just spoke openly while they filmed it.
I believe it. I will give you one scene that I genuinely enjoyed. I genuinely enjoyed when they were in the kitchen making a sandwich. They worked well off of each other in that moment. I like how they were relatable in that one moment. Once she shaved off Timothy Dalton's mustache, neutering the character metaphorically, he's just bouncing around the castle saying hi to everybody.
Hello.
I hate it. Because it felt so disingenuous. And
It was too much of a drastic change.
It was.
I don't want to say you didn't see character development. I think you did. I think it was a little fast, but in a 90-minute rom-com, it's going to be fast for convenience sake. You just get so accustomed to seeing Timothy Dalton act a certain way. With just being this strong, almost overbearing at times, gritty brute of a character, and he was for the first half of this movie.
Talk to the hand.
There were elements of this that I actually did enjoy. I thought it did have a heart. I thought it did care. It was sloppy, but you also have to set your expectations at a realistic level. This was a movie where, admittedly, expectations were low. I'm not going to say it has a lot of rewatchability for me.
Alright, so that's my guilty pleasure movie, and up next, we're gonna have Pat's choice.
And I'm going to use my guilty pleasure choice because you ruined something with Timothy Dalton in it. I'm going to try and have something that ruins Disney for her.
That is just mean-spirited.
Is it, or is it fair game? So until next time, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Twitter, #RealWasted. And we'll see you guys next time when it's my choice for a guilty pleasure. Until then, I'm Pat.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Sean.
Cheers.